right, shalom, family.
Shalom.
Hey, I want to take this time and welcome you guys back to another episode of the Go Lightly Perspective.
Yes, sir.
I'm here again with my brother G.
Yeah, man.
Man, we're going to have a couple just good conversations. He had some questions for me. And so I said, okay, hey, I'm open to share. My worldview is not hid. I don't say things in private.
Okay.
Some things I say in private that's not for the public, but our worldview and the way that we perceive things from this ancient mindset, from this Abrahamic patriarchal covenantal mindset, if you will, needs to be broadcast. So, hey, y'all, welcome. I think you in for a treat.
Yes, man.
We talked a little bit about it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just throw it over to you and let you take it, G, and let's tell them what we're talking about.
Well, first of all, let me just say all praise to the Heavenly Creator.
All praises.
Yes. I want to give him thanks and praise just to be in this space, to be able to just have a conversation with you guys. To be here with my big brother, man, who I really adore and I really have a lot of love for.
Love you, man.
I've always looked up to him. Always have, and I still do. I do love you, bro.
Love you more.
I want to talk about or bring to your attention. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the space of the red pill, right? And for those who are not familiar with the red pill, that's a community that advocates supposedly for men. And they, in speaking to men, they tell men certain things that they need to do in order to become this high value man.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and we don't prescribe to these things, but like any good lie, a good lie always has what?
Truth.
It has a little truth in it. So we're going to try to filter through some of those points that they bring out about men, young women, and some of it we may agree with, a lot of it we don't. Mm-hmm. So I just want to bring out some of those points and ask you a few questions to get a Go Lightly perspective on things. Okay,
we're not going to do a reaction video. We're not doing
Hold on, bro. You ain't got it queued up? Let me pull out the laptop.
I do not. We're not doing the reaction video. We just going to talk that talk. Right?
Oh, yeah, man. Right. And make sure you subscribe to this channel.
Subscribe,
you're right. Yeah. When I say prescribe, I've been in the hospital for months.
You think about medication.
Yeah, man. Think about these meds, man. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give a thumbs up to this video, man.
Thank you.
Yes, please. So I had a few questions for you, bro. When it comes to this real red pill space, like I said, it's an ideology that is prescribed to young men. Mm-hmm. Where they cater to young men, and from my point of view, what it looks like to me, that it's a bunch of men who are broken speaking to other broken men. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like to me. But I'm gonna go through some of the points that they have. This Roman, I'm gonna just call him a Roman. I'm not gonna even say his name. He's supposed to be king of the red pill space, and he put out 8 pointers to be a high value man.
Okay.
So we're just gonna go through them. Point number 1, do not get married. Point number 1, do not get married. Point number 2, avoid family creation. Point number 3, vasectomy in your 20s. Oh boy. Number 4, live consistently. So work out.
Okay.
Yep. Number 5, eliminate all sedition. So they don't want you to have anything that you're addicted to, whether it be gaming, whether it be marijuana, with any addictions that you have, you need to avoid them.
Mm-hmm. What was it, sedition or addiction?
No, seditions. Come on, Human Dictionary.
Sedations.
Oh, man. Why you gonna correct me, bro? Why you gotta correct me, man? What's going out to the masses?
It just didn't make sense. I'm sorry. It's sedation. Oh.
Man,
sedation's like
cut it off, man.
No,
just cut it off.
Good.
Just cut it off, bro. Just cut it off.
This is good. This is good media. This is good media. This is real.
This is real time, people. Learn game and networking. Play to your strengths and build wealth. Resist easing up on your focus.
Okay.
All right. So those were 8 points to becoming a high value man. So, which of these 8 points would you say you prescribe to? I pretty much know. So first, do not get married.
Oh man, thank you for that. This is interesting because I don't. You know what? Yes, I do. I do understand the cultural context, but for us, being that culturally we practice things differently, what we may call high value is totally different than what they call high value. So I have to push back and kind of reset, or just set the bar that from us, it's a high value man would be someone from a kingdom perspective, from a cultural perspective, is one that is in the house of his father, or has shown the ability to assimilate to a man, to help him to develop the proper masculinist traits, so that he would emulate the mindset, the mind that Yah wanted us to have in the earth in order for us to be his representative.
Okay.
Unlike any other people group, we have that obligation, that requirement, that necessity, that mantle that has been placed upon us. So in order for us to have greater value, or to increase in our value, is definitely proportionate and related to our relationship with our Father and the Father, that who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So through that, as you have greater connections with the Father, and you study his words, and we don't look at it from a religious context, we look at it from as a message in a bottle to a man that has found himself in captivity, and is trying to get back to the way of Yah without having all of these distractions of what the world is telling him, what the Romans are telling him are high value.
Okay.
They're not saying that everything that they say is absolutely wrong, and I'm not saying that this is in necessarily it hasn't been prioritized or triaged, but we have to make sure that we have things in proper order. So I would agree with the first point that if you're in pursuit of trying to be like the Father, that trying to get married for young men at an early age typically is not a good thing.
Okay.
Because you really don't know what that means. You haven't been taught to be a husband, because husband is a role. What are the functions as it relates to being a husband? Because we use the scripture that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and obtains favor of Yah. That's absolutely paramount, and it is an essentialist view. However, are you ready to find a wife? Because do you have your own space, your own place? Have you prepared a place for a woman to be able to receive her unto yourself? Do you have a vision? Do you have a profession, something that she can come in and help you to meet the goals that you have set for the house? Because if you have a wife that does not have a role, a function in the house, it's going to lead to her rebellion.
Okay.
She'll define her own way, and she will be less likely to help you meet the goals that you have, because she'll come up with her own set of goals, values, and interests. So asking yourself, are you ready for that? And then, having someone that can assist you in developing those skills are key. So until you've done that thing, I would advise young men not to do it, because women can be, or any of these things can be, a huge waste of time. Getting tied up with the wrong one, man, it can set you back years.
Absolutely.
It may have only taken you 5 minutes to get in it, but it could take you 15 years to get out of it.
Okay.
So just consider these things. That part, I can agree at the early stage, but ultimately we are for marriage.
Yes.
And we are for family. That this is the way that the Father wanted us to represent him in the earth, and to be fruitful and to multiply ourselves, which was the first commandment. By the way, we want to, or very, very early commandment. So we want to make sure that we're doing those things, and we don't do it. We cannot multiply ourselves as patriarchs, as son of the living Yah, in a righteous manner if we do not have a wife. We don't teach our sons, nor should any of us be advocates for fornication.
Okay.
That is a sex crime, which is sex without covenant. You haven't made a covenant with that woman. So, if that's what it is, then it's fornication.
Absolutely. And in this space, they prescribe for young men to have as many sexual experiences as they can.
That's wicked.
Very much so. Very much so. And let me backtrack a little bit, bro. The reason I was even bringing these topics up, because I hear a lot of men, and I'm talking about in the walk, I'm talking about men who say they love the Father and they follow the commandments, but they prescribe to a lot of these ideologies that we hear in this space. So that's the reason I wanted to even address this and ask some of these questions to you to kind of just help them and maybe direct their path a little straight. Because it may be a little crooked right now. Okay. Maybe a little off. So I just wanted to...
It happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. So, so with marriage, what is the age that you say? So let me backtrack. So it's not a particular age.
No.
It's about more so acquiring the skill set that's needed, preparing a place that for that young lady. And another point you may not have said is when your father or whatever elder tell you you're ready. What would you say to that?
I'd be in full agreement that a man has to be in control of his loins, in control of his appetites and desires, that he's not ruled by these baser, lesser things. The desire to procreate and continue your father's line, because it's not yours, is innate in every man. It's innate in every woman. Now, whether they suppress that, redirect that, deny that is completely irrelevant. The biology is there. We can't get past the point of the biology that we have been given and the desire to express ourselves. And it's a good thing. It's a righteous thing. But I just think that it has to be at the right time, because if we consider that the divorce rate here in the U.S. is it's about 70%, very close to 70, if not over. The way that we've been going about it is wrong. So curses the man that trusteth the man and make his flesh his own. If you are just trusting in your own thoughts and your own mindset, and you're not getting a vetted or going to a source that can vet what you're trying to do, then oftentimes it'll end up in destruction, because you can't do things outside of the plan and the methodology of Yah, then expect him to bless your mess. It typically doesn't work that way. So I would just caution men that get an extra set of eyes on it to assist you in this acquisition of another wife.
Okay.
Or acquisition of a wife.
So you can already kind of hit on, I guess, point 2 that they made: avoid family creation. So if
baby mama drama. Yeah, I had it. I had it, and I can tell you that it will just siphon off your resources, man. You end up fighting things in court and spending money that you did not have to spend, that in your 20s you could be using that to catapult you into your 30s and into your 40s. Like, you need momentum. That's why we say young men don't get married early. You need to be focused on working 60 to 80 hours every week. Working. That's all you need to be focused on, is trying to increase yourself monetarily and professionally, connecting with the Most High, and so that you can really be someone that is adept, and someone that has been that is very skillful in their profession. And then instead of following after money, you're following after your pursuits or a directive that you were given, the profession that you're in, and then money will find you instead of you trying to find it.
Kane, good, brother. Good. Now, this third one was a doozy. Vasectomy in your 20s. Now, when it comes to vasectomies,
man, that's crazy.
We know only like when you're trying to get reattached. If you try to get reattached, it's a high. I want to say the percentage maybe after like 8 to 10 years, your percentage of being connected properly, maybe like 50%. And if somebody told me, G, if you walk across that street, you got a 50% chance of getting hit. I ain't walking across the street because I don't want to get hit.
Right.
So So could you speak to that aspect of getting a vasectomy in your 20s?
That goes against what the Father wants for us to do. And unfortunately, a lot of men have subscribed to that. They went about and they did it. And it reminds me of what the scripture says, and the children of Israel went and they were going after the doings
of the land. Yeah, man.
So that is one of the doings of the land that can cripple a man, that can make a man a eunuch and prevent him from extending his father's bloodline, which is, that is a very, very high and noteworthy thing, that you should be fully adjusted in trying to do, is extending your bloodline and getting more of you on the earth versus going against a procedure that will reduce you and prevent you, only for the purpose of, you just having sex and not getting put on paper and not getting put on child support and that kind of thing. So, yeah, man, it boils down to what's important to you.
Yeah, and so to some people, getting off is very important, so they'll clip themselves.
Yeah.
Just so they still can get off and get that release.
Yeah.
To get that full feeling that that they say is so enjoyable.
Yeah.
And as well,
and that's very immature.
Very immature.
Very immature. That's an immature masculinity.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And even with the deletion of children, and with the abortion thing, you have an increase in men actually getting vasectomies since that bill has passed. Since the Supreme Court made that particular ruling, they say it's an increase in vasectomies.
Yeah.
In the community, and women are pushing these men. No,
you go do it.
You go do it.
Yeah.
And not just having a discipline, just to keep your legs closed, brother. Keep your pants up.
Yeah.
Get a wife. At least do it that way. So, next one. Let's see what this fourth one is here. Live consistently. What do you say about that one?
Well, I'm all about the gym, man.
I'm all
about exercise and trying to just make sure that I present my body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto Yah, which is my reasonable service. So, my holy is determined by the Most High. Acceptable is definitely unto Yah. But when he says present your body a living sacrifice, I look at the way we eat is a sacrifice. Going to the gym is a sacrifice, because I want to be in my best shape for whatever age that I am. Mm-hmm. There's always room for improvement, but I believe in lifting. That's and resistance and wrestling and doing martial arts, because it's nothing like trying to exert your will on another man.
Yeah.
And seeing another man exert his will upon you. Mm-hmm. Can you dig down deep and do you know what it's like to taste your own blood, and how do you do you panic in those moments? So mm-hmm. These are things that we consider in how we test ourselves, not necessarily to see if we're a high value man, but just your own masculinity. Like I firmly believe that we are of the tribe of Judah.
Hallelujah.
That we are a warrior tribe.
Okay.
And so it's nothing wrong with testing your strength and your skill set against other men in a way that's not confrontational. But you do that now so that when if the confrontation comes, you can intelligently defend yourself.
Okay. I know right now, with children not going outside, especially the way we did, we grew up sparring on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We didn't call it that. We called it wrestling,
slapboxing,
actually fighting, mm-hmm. because I can recall every friend that I, quote unquote friend that I had growing up, we fought. Mm-hmm. And after we fought, a day or two later we'd be cool, out riding bikes. But it was almost something that you had to do to prove yourself, to just show that you weren't scared.
You ain't no punk.
Yeah, man. Penitentiary full of punks. All right. All right. Eliminate all sedations. Yeah. Did I pronounce it right that time?
Yeah, you did. Sedations. That's just, oh man, you dwell in the past, bro. Come on. Those things can distract. Mm-hmm. Distract you from your goals. If you're constantly drinking, you're constantly smoking, because mm-hmm. Weed will rob you of your motivation. It'll rob you of your ambition. You'll be so comfortable and so sedated that you like, oh well, I just deal with it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. So I can value this advice for young men to no, stop it. You don't need to drink. You need to be so locked in and so focused on what you're trying to do, because it's usually some alcohol involved when things go awry. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're drunk dialing, You know, you reaching out to chicks on the gram,
Yep.
you sending DMs. It's because your inhibitions have been lowered, and now you're trying to do something that you know you would not do if you had all of your bearing and your thoughts about yourself. I would give that advice for young women. Young women, you have no reason to be drinking. You have
Yeah.
no reason to be smoking, to be taking any illicit drugs. Why? Because we need your womb to be pure,
Yeah.
so that you can produce the next generation. So you don't need any alcohol. You don't need that stuff that stays with you. I would just advocate for just continue healthy lifestyles, and just consider that you're going to be the environment to produce the next generation that can go on and become even greater than those that are here now.
Okay.
And when I say greater, I just mean have less direct interface and impact from the global satanic thought system.
Yeah. Less agreement with error.
Less agreement with error. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So point 6, learn game, basically how to talk to a woman, and networking.
Networking is good.
Absolutely.
Networking is
Yeah.
good. A lot of business that I've gotten has been a result of networking. So I'm all for that. I think that that's very beneficial, and it helps a person get out of themselves and be able to relate to people, to be able to read a room, to be able to read body language. You know, when people say things and they really don't mean it, you'll learn that just from networking and putting yourself in these social, having these social interactions. I'm not for gaming. I'm not for this whole mindset of playing games in any capacity, versus just being your authentic self. And if people can relate to you, they can. If they can't, then that's fine. That, you know, you've gotten that person out of the way because you've been who you genuinely are. And because most people they're not genuine, they're not sincere. But if you can do that and not try to run the whole game, and that doesn't mean that you are completely transparent at every level either. You have to, you know, just hold certain things back intentionally, but it's not for the intention of gaming or getting over on people.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't support that mindset at all. I ain't mad if you got a little game now.
Correct.
You know, having a little game, not being a square, and even if you are a square, you know, you don't want to get took, you know, for your money, be in situations where you're completely oblivious to the fact that you about to get robbed, that you about to get jumped on. You know, you don't have the social intelligence or the relational acuity to see when things are going south. But, you know, having a little bit of game, the way you talk, a little bit of, I hate using the word swag.
I'm gonna say it. I knew you were gonna say
it. A little bit of just the way that you move and operate. That's, you know, Go Light is kind of known for that.
Man. Hey, bro, we sons of Jacob.
Yeah.
And I heard Jacob was a smooth man.
Yeah, man. So if you see me dapping, like, you know, that weed, man, you dapping a little hard. It's like, hey, man, my father Jacob walked with a limp. So he had his thigh hollowed out. So, yeah, you might see me, you know, dabbing.
Straight up. Oh, man. So let's hit point 7, because when I'm finished with this list, I want to ask, what were some of the points which you would, if you had to make a list, what would be some of those bullets in that list? But we're going to get to that in a second.
We're going through that right now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. Number 7, play to your strengths and build wealth.
What's wrong with that? Where's the lie?
Ain't no lie in that one.
Yeah, play to your strengths.
Absolutely.
But also, you play to your strengths, but at the same time acknowledge where you may be weak in the area,
where you're deficient.
And then work your way up through those deficiencies so that you're no longer deficient, you're sufficient.
Okay.
You're better in those areas. It's kind of like, you know, in a whole basketball analogy, if you know somebody don't have a left hand, I'm going to play you to that side. I'm going to make you put the ball in your left hand. I'm going to shut this right side down. I don't care if you cross me over, I ain't going nowhere. You going to your left. So a lot of times our enemies may know our weakness, so he brings those things to us. But if you use discipline, you can shore up those areas where there's gaps, where there's a breach, and to ensure that you don't have weakness there.
Okay, good.
And by doing that, by not getting caught up, and I ain't going to the club, I ain't out drinking and smoking and entertaining, whining and dining, all these women, you can save your money. That money can accumulate in the process of you building wealth.
Good. And the way we're trying to do it anyway is leave behind wealth for our inheritance. I mean, for our inheritors, the ones who are going to inherit. So I think that should be our focus. Most definitely building wealth, because we got to leave something. They said a good man leaves
an inheritance to his children's children.
His children's children.
Yeah.
And so I know we're lining up to be those good men.
Okay.
All right. Last one.
And that's one metric. You talked about the metrics that we use. That is one of those metrics. Is for, in terms of putting things on a list. Have you left something for your children's children?
Yeah, man.
I would say that would be one of the markers and the qualifications, in addition to numerous other things. But that's definitely a metric, so that when you die, they're not worried about trying to bury you. They don't have to put together a GoFundMe. I think that is very, very problematic, troublesome, and it's irresponsible for our men and women to die without life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You got a new iPhone, 13 Pro Max, $1,400 device, spending $50 a month. How is it that you don't have life insurance that's the same price? How?
I think a lot of people think that they're gonna always see tomorrow, and they put it off. Maybe going back to those some of those habits that they may have, and they just put off important aspects of life that we should all cover, and life insurance is one of them. We just put it off. I do it tomorrow. I ain't dying no time soon.
Yeah.
You don't know how many grains of sand is in that hourglass.
Yeah.
You don't know. No man knows the day nor the hour. I know that's not the scripture speaking on death, but you still don't know the day or the hour.
No.
When death is calling or is knocking on your door. So absolutely we should be preparing in that manner, having life insurance, making sure we have our will, have trust, to make sure all of our affairs are in order.
Yes.
So our wives or wives don't have to try to do it for you.
I think that is really this selfish arrogance. It's selfish in that you're not considering those that are around you who are left to shoulder that burden, and this arrogance in that it's appointed. You have to understand that it's appointed to every man to die once, and then the judgment. You did not come here to stay. You're going to die. So prepare for that. Every moment, your body is degenerating. It's a certain amount of entropy. It's a certain amount of this destructive chaos that is within each of us. As I'm maturing, I know that if I'm doing something, I can't say playing ball. I can't stop on a dime the way I used to.
Oh,
you will blow your knee out. You'll mess up your Achilles. Your back starts to move a little differently than it did. Like, man, you never had movement in certain joints that start to move. So you can see all of the indicators. You can see the gray hair. You can see this. If you're starting to get wrinkles, these are indicators that you are aging. So don't be a denialist. Get you some life insurance, man, and don't be selfish. Don't be arrogant, because we've come here to leave.
Okay.
We came to leave, to do a job and to fulfill a purpose that the Father has given us on the earth. And part of that is leaving something for the next generation and not spending all that you have now, in not going after the mindset and the philosophies of this system that tells you, well, I'm gonna spend it all because I can't take it with me. That's damnable, because one, you're not giving those things back to the community that you come from. You're trying to buy things that will make you feel happy, make you feel better about yourself as if you arrived. And then you have to ask yourself, well, why is it that the things that my oppressor had then give me value?
Okay.
Why is this the metrics that I use? Why have I employed the strategies that he's told me to employ for my own destruction, and then I'm participating in it gleefully? No. It's horrible. It's horrible, man.
I think it's going to take a brainwashing in our community, because a lot of these financial components we just didn't learn.
Yes.
We don't know them, and when you do learn them, you're scared to even go into that arena.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about fear. Fear make you freeze. You can't even move.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we talk about some of these concepts like life insurance, and even having life insurance on your children. You should even have that, and we can't even grasp that, because the fact, a lot of people can't even think about the fact of, that your children are going to die one day.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes it a reality when you have to put life insurance on them.
Yes.
And it's not even for that. You can use life insurance in so many different ways. I'm not about to get into that, but you can use your life insurance policy on your children, on yourself, as a financial tool to even prepare your family in a whole nother stratosphere. But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, man.
All right. So the last point here. Resist easing up on your focus. Oh man.
Mm-hmm. In the world where ADHD, ADD has become so common, it's because we are in the midst of this social experiment where we're constantly being hit with so much stimuli, so many data points, where it's really, really difficult to maintain course. And back to the conversation about alcohol and not having these things a part of your life, these drugs, these sedations that numb us, versus we want to be alive and active and vibrant and connected with the spirit of the times, so that we can kind of gauge where we are. Because if the Father is going to use anyone, we want him to use us.
Yes.
We want to be fit extensions of him, to represent him. And so there's a way that you have to go about doing that, and it's not according to your own will, in which you make up and you constantly move the goalposts, versus this ancient mindset that has been endowed from above.
Yes.
And we seek to walk in, and we thank him for the purview of visitation and examples and models that are in the midst. And we want to ensure that we can, because we have somewhat of a duty and an obligation for what we've been given, we want to give it back appropriately and represent it properly.
Kane, I 100% agree with you. We got to stay laser focused on our purpose, because we can get distracted with so many other things. And that's one thing I give you credit for, bro. You always stay laser focused. When you see that target, that bullseye, or let me put it in track terms. When you see that tape, you're running through the tape. You're not going to veer in no other lane. You're going to stay in your lane, because you don't want to get DQ'd.
No.
I'm trying to speak his language over here. He loves track, man.
Yeah, man. I'll be watching it.
Yeah, man.
I love it. They just put a smile on my face. Shout out to all the track athletes, man. We got something in common.
So, bro, that's all I had. I just wanted to go over that little list to get your thoughts, to get your perspective on it. I think it was very valuable, because I'm telling you, man, when I talk to brothers, man, a lot of men's headspaces in that type of ideology.
Yeah. But that's just the doings of the land.
Okay.
We don't realize that we've been programmed, and then you try to slowly replace that programming with the Hebraic way, or you try to fuse the two. And some things you cannot fuse. It's like the iron and clay mix. Like it's not going to work. So we want to make sure that what we're saying and what we're doing is really what the Father would have us do. And that's not an easy thing. And I can admit that. Coming from, and I have not forgotten. I have not forgotten where I came from, nor have I forgotten where I'm going. But that doesn't give us excuses to not be what the Father has called us to be.
Man.
And we just want to be acutely aware of that. Let our yea be yea, and our nay be nay.
Okay.
And walk in the way that he's prescribed. So
yeah,
man, that whole list, most of it was trash. I would definitely anyone that's listening to these guys and he's telling you to get a vasectomy in your 20s and to have these multiple sexual enterprises, and see, man, it's a lot of these sexual diseases, family, that there's no protection for. If you engage in it, you gonna get it. There's no condom for it. There's no prophylaxis for certain things. So man, we gotta consider these things that we're consuming, not realizing that subconsciously it's getting in there. It's having an effect. This is actually the spirit of Antichrist. If I can go that
yes,
far.
speak on it.
It's a spirit of Antichrist that goes against the way that the Father would have us operate. And as long as we're doing that, you cannot say that you truly belong to Him, because you're in possession of something that He is not the author of. And what He's not is the author of confusion. This is confusion.
Yes, it is.
It's confusion. And that's not anything that He would have His sons to be a part of, nor did Messiah, even though He did not have children. Some people may say, well, that's debatable. It's not debatable for us. Like, man, the stories just get more and more outlandish.
Yeah, man.
Because they have to try to discredit this perfect, righteous man, God man that walked the earth, and he just happens to be our tribe. Happen to be of the house of Yahuwah.
Yeah, man.
So, of the house of Dawid.
Our big brother.
Our big brother. So, I'm thankful, man. You can't put no stains on it to me.
Yeah, man.
Man, I've listened to, those that would call themselves non-messianic, listen to those that are Muslim, all these different traditions, and they try to stain him. But boy, he's Teflon. He's unflappable. Man, I love him. I love him, and I want to be like him. I want to be a son. And, thanks to him, he made us kings and priests. So we talk about this mature masculinity and patriarchy. Patriarchs were a type of king. They were a type of king, and that's what that's what Hamashiach has done for us, made us these kings and priests. Yet, however, he has the designation of being the king of kings.
That's right.
There's no other, so don't come out with these other deities that's trying to hold on to that title. You're a damn lie. So get up out of here. So,
straight up.
But that's all I got on that.
Hey, man, that's all I got, bro. I just want to ask you those 3 questions. Hopefully, everyone who watched this is edified, and the brothers who may watch it, who even prescribe to some of these ideologies, just consider what we're saying today. And if you want to reach out to my brother, man. He's a good source. He's willing to give you some time right now. But it's only a season.
Yeah, it's only a season.
It's only a season.
Yeah, man.
So reach out to the brother. I'm not that type, man. I'm another type, brother.
And I'm only this type because I've been directed to do said thing. Otherwise, I'm fine on my own. I got enough business with my family. We're not trying to run anybody else's house. We want you to run your house. So blessings to you. May you never know lack. May you never lack a man to stand before the Most High. May He give you grace and peace and shalom. All right, man.
Shalom, shalom.